So, would you start by introducing yourself today for us, please?
Sure. My name's Joe Garza, and I am the Vice President and Managing Partner for Humanity Tea.
Awesome. And I'm Mahmoud Khairi with Action Coach. I'm a certified business coach from Action Coach. I'd just like to ask you, Joe, what do you do?
What do? I do a little bit of everything. I handle everything from sales and distribution, and I actually oversee marketing for a startup tea company that is Humanity. Yep.
Awesome. So, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing that?
Oh, well, I'm for half of my life, I've been in the beverage industry for 25 years and primarily with startups. I've been very fortunate to have worked for some iconic brands, Sobe, Vitamin Water, Fuse, Muscle Milk, and now Humanity. It's kind of my passion. I love the industry.
It is a beautiful industry. I've been actually on the top of a food and beverage organization for the last 20 years. And I'm still the president right now, although I do coaching, but I'm managing the business overseas. And it's a real interesting business. I love it so much.
Yeah,
There's no pandemic or there's no problem with working at
yeah,
that time of the year, and
yeah.
it's working. So, who is your best customer, Joe?
My best customer. That's a great question. We're 2 years into this. And we're in a few thousand locations. We have a great partnership with Sprouts. Um, we also do extremely well in convenience stores, like Extra Mile does really well with Humanity. I also do extremely well on college campuses across the country. Humanity is a mission-based tea company that really likes to target, partner with millennials and Gen Zs. We want everybody to drink our product, right? Whether you're one or 101. But strategically, we really try to zero in on millennials and Gen Zs because those two demographics love tea and they also appreciate the mission-based aspect. So anywhere they shop is really where we target. Shop and where they study is where we like to target.
Great. And what was the
Yeah,
biggest impact of COVID-19 on your company? Would you like to share that?
biggest. Yeah, it was tough. It delayed things for us. It really set us back a year. But with that being said, there was a lot of things happening, across this world, both here in the US and other countries. So the last thing I want to do is complain about how tough it was for us when there were so many bigger issues out there. I'm glad things are getting better, and we've been ready for the call, and now we're getting the call.
Would you like to share one or two actions you've taken because of the pandemic and how they were working for you?
Yeah, yeah. With a name like Humanity comes a lot of extra pressure, right? I mean, if you're named Humanity and you're not doing humanitarian good deeds, then, it could, you're not honoring the spirit of what your product's called. One of the things that we've done is we've been able to take an approach where we really want to give back to those in need. We have two partnerships, one with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So we work with them financially, we give them money, as well as getting involved with sharing their message. They're doing some amazing things to help people across the country. The second nonprofit's the Together We Rise, foster love, and they work with foster children, and we work with them. We give them we financially help with them, but we also do their events. So it's allowed us to take a step back and say, okay, besides giving money, how else can we help? And I think COVID kind of reminded us of that there's so many things you can do to help. Because there's a lot of people that need assistance, and so that's kind of two examples that I like that I shared.
Thank you for sharing. That was very nice,
Yeah,
guys, to have
yeah,
to get back to the community, and we really appreciate that. And we encourage every business owner to do that as well. So,
yeah.
would you like also to share the biggest learnings since you've been a business owner with new entrepreneurship, like
Oh,
people that are starting up?
yeah, yeah. Well, I learn every day. Um, I like to believe that I know a lot, and then I realize how much I've learned just today, and it reminds me of how much there still is to learn. One of the key things I'd like to share is I think whenever you start a new business, whether you're launching a new beverage brand or opening up your own your an auto shop, is that it's all about customer service. It's all about taking care of the customer. Um, and that's a great thing because ultimately, customers today, in my case, if they're thirsty, I would hope they pick up a bottle of humanity. But if they like the product, what they do after that is really the key. They share it with their brother, their sister, their girlfriend, their wife, their mom, their dad. And when I know that when I find something and I really enjoy it, I'm excited to tell everybody. I become that brand's ambassador. Um, so that's my goal, is to have people embrace and buy my product, like it enough or absolutely love it to share it with their community around them to help spread the word. So I think customer service allows you to put yourself in a place to have those type of results, because without customer service, the chances of your product ever connecting with the consumer are they lessen. So I would say that. And then second, be authentic. You got to be authentic. Consumers are too smart today. You got to be true to who you are and what your brand stands for. And those are two key things.
Actually, I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah, of course, customer service is number one. I always advise business owners to have great customer service and great rapport with their clients, great relationship with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this builds up a lot of business and builds up a lot of continuity and advancements in your business, and it helps you. Big deal. I wouldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.
So, what is the most inspiring to you today in business?
Oh gosh. Most inspiring. I aspire to be the best tea brand out there. I aspire to be number one. That's what I aspire to be, because if I come anywhere, if I come close to that, or then I know how many different people we could influence, both personally and professionally. Um, that's my goal. I'd love to employ 1,000 people, because that would mean that I would influence 5,000 people within the 1,000, because they have kids and wives. And so I want to create more jobs. I want to help more people that need assistance through our two nonprofits. There are so many things, but I aspire to be the number one, you know, tea brand in the country. That's my goal.
We would love you to achieve your goal, and we would definitely support you to do that. And if,
Thank
if
you.
you're taking care of your customer, you definitely be at least in the top 10, I believe, if you're taking care
That's
of
a
your
start.
customer. Because the
Yeah,
key to your success is the customer, as we both agree. And
right.
we would love you to be number one.
Yeah,
And if you wouldn't be number one, you would be at least at the top 10 in
yeah.
the United States.
I'll take that. I got to get to 10 before I can get to number one.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Do you mind sharing the biggest issue that you had to overcome in your business with us today?
Yeah, biggest issue, cost of doing business. You know, it's not easy. It's not cheap. I don't think most people, well, in fact, I know most people when they go into a grocery store or a convenience store and they see their favorite tea or their favorite bread or cereal, whatever it is, I don't think they realize how much brands have paid to be on the shelf. You know, um, it's tough. So as a new brand, you have to be prepared to support your business. So the cost of doing business, of getting on the shelf, is not cheap. Um, so it's when you see a brand on the shelf that is a new brand, support the new brand. You know, we all have our favorites, right? I have my legacy brands that I've been consuming since I was a kid or a young adult. But when I see a new brand on the shelf, more times than not, I'll pick it up, even if I don't necessarily need a replacement for what I was using. But I understand how difficult it was to make it on the shelf. I also can respect how much energy and efforts it took for the people with that brand to make it on the shelves. So I always say support as many young brands as possible. Uh, and if you enjoy the product, let them know. Send them an email, call them, take 2 minutes out of your busy schedule and let them know how much you appreciate their product. Because when I get an email from a consumer, it makes it all worthwhile. It is so rewarding. And so I encourage people to do that.
Yeah, I would encourage people to try new stuff and to go for new products. That's something
Yeah.
that we need to do to
Yeah.
encourage diversity, competition. We encourage a lot.
Yeah.
It's for their own benefit anyway.
That's right.
So, what is actually the biggest learning in business and life for you today?
Biggest learning, that patience is something that is needed. And I've learned through the years that um, if you're patient and you absorb everything that you've learned, that not only will the results more times than not be there for you, but you can share what you've learned along the journey to include the importance of patience with others. I read all the time that it's about the journey, um, and not necessarily about the end result. I agree with that to a point. The end result is something we're all chasing. The journey is important because you learn a lot about yourself and others along the journey. Um, but I would say that it's patient. It all starts with patience. And another thing that I'd like to share is that relationships. Um, don't underestimate relationships. And relationships in the business world are no different than relationships with your family and friends. have to nurture relationships. Um, it's needed. It's really important. And there's an art to it, you know, and the art is be authentic, be real. And I think I mentioned that earlier, is you have to be real. People are too smart nowadays. They can read right through the, you know, the lack of authenticity. So be yourself. People, people see right through that. And so that would be my words of wisdom.
That's awesome. I totally agree that these are actually two of the key indicators of success, having more relations and having more patience. Because
Right.
yeah, of course, you don't put a seed in the soil and you just get a fruit the next day. You have to wait, and waiting
Yeah.
consumes time and
Yeah.
consumes money and consumes a lot of
Yeah.
things. So, yeah, of course, I would
Yeah.
be more. So, who has been the best coach you've ever had, and why?
Wow. Wow. I've had some great coaches. I have had some great coaches. Well, I would hate to say one and leave out so many others. Um, let me say this, that that my college baseball coach was very instrumental in teaching me the value of hard work and high standards. That little did I know that that 28 years ago I was going to be in the beverage industry, but you know, he really shared a lot of key learnings that he had picked up being a coach and shared those with me. And so I took that into my professional career, what I learned through my coach, Coach Schlegelmelch, Jerry Schlegelmelch. And so when I got to my professional career, I met quite a few entrepreneurs, and they were all very influential in my career because they gave me an opportunity to be myself. And of course, I absorbed as much as possible. To name a few, John Ballo, the founder of Sobe, John Blair, um, Lance Collins, the founder of Fuse, and so on. Those are a few people that really took the time to um, they took the time to give me all the information that I was asking for in a way that that forced me, or didn't even force me, that allowed me to ask for more. You know, it's one of those situations where when you see somebody that is a sponge, you give them as much as they can handle. You give them all they want, and it's pretty awesome to see that because you can see them grow, mature. So I try to do that myself. I actually try to mentor as many people as I can, and that's probably one of that is my goal when I retire, is to mentor people in a way that I have been mentored in my career, in my life. So that is that's what I'd like to do one day.
Awesome. I really love the gratitude and the sincerity to your first coach. And I
Yeah.
that you still remember him very well, and
Oh yeah.
you care about sharing the experience. And
Yeah.
what kind of sayings or quotes do you want to share with us today? Do you have a favorite quote or saying today?
Oh, yeah, I do. I have boy, I have quite a few. It's funny that you would ask me that. Because you would think I would have many to share. Um, gosh, one of my favorite quotes. Well, gosh, I hate that I don't have one to share with you since I love so many.
It's okay. Just take your time, relax, and they're going to come back to you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, here's one that I really I practice. it takes a community or a village. Um, I think that could be applied on so many different levels, both professionally and personally. It really does take a lot of people working towards one common goal to build something successful. And so I like that. That'd be one I'd like to share.
That's a good one. It takes a
Yeah,
whole village to raise a child.
that's right.
That's a very nice quote that I really like
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
And it's very true. Yeah, of
it's
course.
true.
Very true.
Yeah.
And what have you learned about yourself during your journey in business?
That I could handle, that I'm great at multitasking, um, that I am a passionate individual, and that I don't fear hard work. I've learned that about myself, that uh, I uh, I don't mind rolling up my sleeves and doing whatever is needed to get the job done. And not only is my goal to be good in business, but to be a better father and husband and son. That that is a goal that I work on every day.
Right. A lot of people don't know the amount of abilities and skills they have. And
Yeah,
a lot of people stretch their abilities and use any kind of job, business, whatever, to practice their knowledge, their skills, their
yeah,
abilities. And
yeah,
of course, we have a fortune of abilities that we should be using, and we can use them to make more money. The more you learn, the more you earn.
right. That's
So I
right.
totally agree with you. So, what does the future look like, and what do you see in the main challenges moving forward?
Well, the future is bright. Um, I hope to double my distribution in the next year. So my goal is to be in 10,000 locations by this time next year. That's my goal, to be on the cover of, you know, BevNet magazine, uh, or, to be on the cover of one of the trade magazines, and also to have people say that I did things the right way. That that's important for me this time around, is to really take a little bit from what I've learned throughout the last 25 years and apply it all to humanity, and really this be the fruit that comes out of all of my experience and hard work. Um, that's what I'd like to see.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
your wishes. I love your spirit. I love your smart goal of next year and the amount of distribution that you want to increase. The
yeah,
destination marketing, the destination mastery is actually one of the most important masteries that we have to be aware of. Like where
right,
the product goes, how many do I send out, how what kind of product, the packaging. Of course, this is very important to sustain your business in the way you want to. So,
right.
what would you say to anyone thinking of going into business?
Make sure whatever you do, make sure it's something that you enjoy, that you, whether it's a passion, um, so much time, so much energy, and so much money. Whether it's $100, $100,000, or $1 million, whatever the dollar amount is, so much goes into it that if you're not passionate about it, or you don't, maybe passionate is overstated, but you don't enjoy it, it's going to make the journey, it's going to make it that much more difficult. um, I love what I do. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about beverages. Uh, you know, baseball is a sport that I enjoyed playing. It's a sport that I enjoy today. I talk about the history of beverages the way I talk about the history of baseball. They're both right there. How lucky am I? I mean, really, how lucky am I? So, so whatever you decide to do, all you young entrepreneurs out there or individuals, pick something that you love, pick something that you care about, because it'll make the journey that much more enjoyable.
Right. Fun. Just have fun, guys, doing business.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be a duty. It doesn't have to be something that you don't like. Love what you
right.
do. Love what you do. It's
Love what you
have
do.
fun. I totally agree.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
that's one of the most important things that you guys have to be enjoying while doing business. Just do it for fun as well as money. It doesn't have to
right.
like only money and just getting money out of it.
Yeah,
You can have a lot of fun by learning,
yeah,
applying, meeting new people. Uh,
right.
of course. So, if you
Very
started
true.
a business again, what would you do differently?
What would I do again? Oh, hmm. What would I do differently? I would, wow, that's a tough one because I'm really doing things right now in a way that I've always have wanted to do it. So I'm being really careful this time around. What I would say is that I would manage my expectations a little better.
Mhm.
Uh, I didn't understand the the seriousness early on of this pandemic. Um, well, who did, right? None of us really did. There was a lot of fear, there was the unknown. Um, but early on, I thought that things were going to get better quicker. So I didn't manage my expectations. I thought I was going to be able to just power through, and that didn't happen. The pandemic lasted, a couple of years. I mean, it technically it's still there, and so had I understood how serious the situation was, and would have given it thought as to how long it could affect business going back to the normal way of doing things, I probably could have saved some money. Um, and time. And so I that goes back to patience. As much as I like to pride myself on having patience, that's something that you have to practice every day. I didn't have enough patience 2.5 years ago, or I would have done maybe a few things a little differently.
Right, but I wouldn't blame you for that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't blame you for that because it's a totally different world when you get into business. You
Yeah,
don't see anything. You change your mindset from a
yeah,
job seeking person to a person seeking the world. So of
yeah,
course you have to make some adjustments to the way you
yeah,
think, your mindset, your
yeah,
goals. So
yeah.
anyways, so what about
Yeah.
what kind of advice would you give an 18-year old guy? Uh, what's the best advice you would give an 18-year-old guy?
That's an easy one for me. Um, really listen and trust those that love you. Really listen to what they're saying. Um, because when you're 18, you think you have all the answers. I know I was there. Uh, I, but if you really look at your circle of those mom, dad, grandparents, uncle, even your best friend, Doesn't have to be your blood, but those that truly care about you, listen to them, because those are people that know you sometimes even better than you think you know yourself. So I would say listen to those that love you, and appreciate those relationships, and put your best foot forward every day, because you don't know what opportunity is right there in front of you.
Thank
That's what I would say.
thank you for the bold advice, I would say.
Yeah.
And do you have any offers to include today in the in our newspaper, newsletter, letter, or channel today for the consumers they want to share?
I would say to go to www.drinkhumanity, HUMANITEA.com. Take a look. We've got some great product. We offer free shipping, and you won't regret it. It's an amazing tea. Not only will you be consuming great tea, but you'll be helping people uh, along the way. And I thank everybody for their time, and send me a note. Tell me what you think. Thank you very much.
I would go to the website after, just right after the interview. And thank you
Okay.
for the wonderful interview. We really appreciate your time, and thank you very much. You have a
Thank you very much. Thank you, Action Coach.
thank you.
Bye bye.